Hook I'm going to use is a 200R TMC tied in a size 14 today, and I've got a 7/64 gold bead on the front. I'm going to use some 015 lead wire and center this bead on the hook by jamming it up inside there. Just push it up there, help center that bead on the hook. The thread I'm going to use today is this A-dot red uni thread. And I think the color of the thread is just another little thing built into the fly. Gets a nice little hot spot up there behind the bead. So we'll take our thread and wind it back to right over the barb of our hook. Trim out our excess. Then we're going to take some fibers from a hare's mask for the tail. Tie those in. Check the length. Pretty good. And then I'll just bind this excess fibers down. On my threads up here by the thorax, I will grab some gold wire, tie that in, wind back. If that little bit of fiber up there bothers you, you can trim that out. That'll all get covered up by dubbing and peacock curl. And then for the dubbing, I just use some hare's mask dubbing. This is an SLF tan dubbing, and I blend some more guard hairs into it just to make it a little buggier, but there's plenty of hare's masks out there. You can scrape it off the mask for an all natural sort of original style dubbing, or there's tons of different hare's masks. You have a lot to choose from. We're just going to build a standard taper to this body from thin to thick as we get towards the thorax area. Sort of a general mayfly shape that the standard hare's ear has. So does this one. Just going to do a tiny bit more here to finish off the body. Okay, and then I will bring my rib forward, my gold wire rib, nice even spaces. Get up here to the thorax area, take a couple turns, tie that off, and then we'll just wiggle our wire around until it pops free. Now we will take some burl mylar for our wing case, tie that in right behind the bead on the center of the hook, and then I'm going to take about 4 strands of peacock curl tied in by the tips. I'll trim the tips out, mount it there behind the bead, wind my thread back, bring my thread forward to just behind the bead, and then we'll wrap this peacock curl, build up a very full thorax here. 3 or 4 turns, tie that off, trim out the excess. Then we take our flashback wing case, pull it forward, keep it centered on the hook, take a couple of wraps, make sure it's right where you want it. Fold it back. I like to fold it back and take a locking wrap in front of it, then trim out the excess. Now the last thing we'll do is tie in our partridge soft tackle. So I take a partridge feather, sweep back most of the legs, exposing just the tip as a tie-in point. So it'll look like that, just like any other soft tackle or partridge legs you may tie in when you're doing a collar. And then the curve of the feather sort of sweeps back this way, and I want my fibers sweeping back soft tackle style, so I'll just tie it in with the curve against the hook, a couple of wraps on that tip, trim out the excess, take my feather, sweep these fibers back a little bit, and then start to wind this soft tackle style. And that's plenty right there. So just tie this off. Trim out the remainder. Grab all these fibers, sweep them back, and then here's where that red thread shows up as a little hot spot on the fly. We'll just whip finish it off and be done with it. And hare's ears have been around, I mean, forever. They're just as effective as they were when people first started fishing them. And this is just an update that makes an already effective fly even that much more effective. So there it is. Tie a few of them up and give them a try.